Hi, my name is Nisa Levy, and in this video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about flipped classrooms. So, the first thing that you will want to know is what is a flipped classroom? It's kind of a buzzword that goes around. Here I got for you just a direct definition from the internet, exactly what a flipped classroom is. Basically, what it does is it differs from what they call a traditional classroom in that instead of having your students listen to your lecture and then do practice work on their own at home, in flipped classroom, it happens in the opposite direction. First, students engage in some content work by themselves at home, and then when they come to class, they work with their classmates and the teacher to deepen their learning. So basically, as I spelled out for you here before class, on their own time, the students will complete an assignment that's content based, and it's usually a form of direct instruction, usually video. And during class, they work together with their peers and teachers to engage deeper, practice skills, and create new learning. So let's try to take a look at how this works. So, the first thing the teacher will do is assign a content based assignment to be completed by students at home before the intended lesson. Usually, this will be something like watch this video and answer questions, or read this short piece of text and answer questions. But the bottom line is that the assignment should rank low on Bloom's taxonomy. It should not be something that the students need to exert a lot of effort in. You're trying to make it really accessible and just easy for them to work with. That's for that reason, the most common medium is usually video, with some kind of checks for understanding or formative assessments attached, just to kind of have a bit of accountability to make sure that the students are doing the assignment. And it also gives you a little bit of feedback on what the students absorbed, and it could give you some information if you need to do any scaffolding together in class or if you're able to move quicker through the material. So I brought for you some examples of how a flipped classroom could be applied to different subject areas. Because sometimes people say, oh, a flipped classroom could be great for a certain subject area, but not mine. So what I teach is Tanakh and English, but I was able to think of examples just off the top of my head for many subject areas. So I just put a few examples for you here, but I really do believe that the flipped classroom could really apply to any subject area. I tried to get creative. I put phys ed there on the bottom, just to show you that really you can adapt the flipped classroom model to any subject area. One thing I think of is as somebody who took music lessons growing up, we even had this in music. You would listen to the piece beforehand at home, and then you would come to the lesson and practice playing it together with the teacher, something like that. It really can be applied to all subject areas. Um, so a lot of people often wonder, why was the flipped classroom model created and what does it offer that the traditional classroom doesn't? So first of all, the flipped classroom model acknowledges that our students are 21st century learners, and therefore they're digital natives. So they're using technology all day, and the flipped classroom model often utilizes technology. Usually it's that work when the students are doing at home, they're watching that video on a device. And tells our students that that just tells our students that you can use technology for your learning, and it also meets our students where they are. We might as well utilize the tools that are already innate to them in their learning. Secondly, often there's pushback against doing homework. Whoever wants to do homework, right? So this is a lot easier. It's just asking students, just watch this video, answer a couple questions. That's all you need to do on your own time. And that's a lot more palatable for them. And lastly, it also acknowledges that our students have an almost endless collection of knowledge, that being the internet. So we should utilize that. We should take advantage of it. Have our students access that knowledge. Send them a link. Hey, watch this video. Watch this informational, documentary. And then that allows the teacher to offer something unique to them, which is that it moves the focus in the classroom from content instruction to skill work. It makes teachers into facilitators as well as content masters, which I think is kind of cool. I also included a couple more benefits of what the flipped classroom offers over the traditional one. So, as I mentioned earlier, it reinforces meaningful use of technology. It conveys to our students that you can use your devices for more than just entertainment. There's a lot of knowledge and learning to be gained from the internet and just digital learning in general. It also ensures that all your students come to class with a uniform knowledge base on a particular topic. So let's say I want all my students to know, um, that George Washington was the first president so that we can do a lesson on the early government in the United States. Well, if I show them a video which includes that information, hey, George Washington was president, now I know that no one in my class can say, I've never heard of George Washington because I assigned them the video where they should know that. So it puts all your students kind of at a somewhat level playing field. The next one I think is super relevant. Flipped Classroom is compatible with multiple learning platforms. If we need to switch to distance learning, this will come right along with us. Students can watch the content lecture on their own time, and when they come to the Zoom room, they can do whatever activity the teacher has prepared to deepen that learning. But this way, even though we're not meeting in person, we're ensuring that our students have that content knowledge. The next one I think is so important. Um, the flipped classroom gives students a measure of ownership over their learning. So when we tell our students, you need to do a little bit of independent investment into your learning, watch this video, answer these questions, it's conveying to them that like you can't just be a passive listener in my classroom. You need to participate in this learning on your own time. You can't just rely on your classmates to answer all the questions or do the group work. The next two are really nice. It gives the students some choice in learning. So they can work at their own pace and they can work in their preferred modality. A really wonderful thing about having video lectures for students is that students can pause and go back to review information. They can speed it up if it's going too slow, or they can slow it down if they need to absorb the situation, if they need to absorb the information a little bit slower. And that's not something that can be done in the classroom. If the teacher only speaks at one volume, only speaks at one speed, the students are forced to follow the teacher's pace. This way, they're able to do what works for them. In terms of working in their preferred modality, this is kind of goals, but if you're able to assign a video that comes with a transcript or an audio clip that allows students to really use whatever format works best for them. So, for example, if you have a student who's having a really busy day, she wants to get her homework done, but the only time she can do it is if she's in a public place. If she's given a transcript of the video, all of a sudden it's much easier for her to complete that work. She can just read it and she's able to answer those questions. So that's kind of like an extra level, but just something that you can work into this flipped classroom model. And lastly, this strategy easily allows students who are absent from class to access content that you want them to be responsible for. So I anticipate that this coming year, it's going to be kind of hard to keep track of students, and we're just going to have to do the best that we can to make sure that they are keeping up with classwork. If the lectures are uploaded in short video nuggets, then it's a lot easier for us to tell students, hey, just open up this module, open up this link. This is what the rest of your classmates are responsible for. And then they're able to access that content knowledge. Yes, they're still going to be missing that skill work and the collaboration. That's just part of being absent. But at least in this way, we're able to support them a little bit with whatever crazy, hectic life is coming this coming year. So this is really just a basic overview. I highly recommend reading this book. It's super short. The link here takes you to the Amazon page where you can buy it in person or the ebook version. I was able to read this book. Oh wow. Okay. I guess the lawn people decided to show up now. So we'll have to continue.